Hey everyone, this is DJ.
And this is Ish.
And this is Season 5 of Pero Let Me Tell You.
¿Viste que two of your worlds collided earlier this week?
What?
Well, you know, Candace Cameron Bure was called out for being rude by your favorite impression.
That's not a way to start the show.
You know that your Jojo is a fan favorite.
What is it? I am Jojo Siwa. Welcome to my concert. No, that's not scare people this early in the morning.
That's true.
Excuse me, I'm coughing. What is it? Episode 215?
214.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 214. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, everybody.
July flew by.
Ya el año acabó. That's
Yeah,
it.
no, it's Valentine's
That's
Day
it.
already.
Yeah, Coño, Valentine's
No,
Day.
yeah,
You flew
they're
through
taking
Christmas.
out the Valentine's Day, because you know what? You know what's so funny? That, like, well, again, welcome, everybody, to episode 214. Every year we say the same thing about, like, Christmas. Oh, my God, it's not even Halloween yet, and it's already Christmas. Bueno, I feel that with Valentine's Day now, it's like not New Year's yet. Ya tú vas a CVS y tienen los Valentine's Day candy.
CVS.
And the Dollar Tree.
Dollar Tree, by Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Has Valentine's.
It's Valentine's Day. No, that's it.
Yeah,
That's
that's it.
Valentine's Day. Are we going to Bennigan's for March? for
St. Patrick's?
St. Patrick's? I mean, if we can find a Bennigan's.
Let's time travel, yes.
You know, I have to tell you, I miss Bennigan's.
Really?
So of the mediocre three, do you know what my mediocre three is?
I don't, but I'm going to take a guess.
Yes.
Okay, so Bennigan's is one.
Yes.
Chili's?
Yes.
Fridays.
Yes. and now
we will get no sponsorship from
and
the
now
other
that
two.
Bennigan's is out, I put in Applebee's.
I can't go to Applebee's. Siempre me cae mal.
The mediocre three. But am I saying something that's incorrect?
Not even a little bit.
Because all those restaurants, I would actually put Fridays on the top.
Yeah.
Because Fridays
Yeah.
is a little bit better.
Yeah.
Right? All those restaurants.
No, you know what? I'd probably flip it and put Chili's, just because Chili's always has the happy hour.
Yeah, but Chili's is a very hitter. Well, the point I'm trying to make is that, and don't get me wrong, I like these restaurants.
We'll go to these
I go
all
to these
day long.
restaurants all the time.
Yeah.
But, like, you see it on the menu, and it's like, oh, this looks good. And then when you have it, it's like, oh.
It's okay.
Sometimes they get it right. Like,
Yes, that's
sometimes, depending if it's not too full, like the restaurant,
If they have time.
they'll get it right.
Right. If
We're
you
gonna
have
meet out.
time.
Chili's has, like, a few years back when I was, like, really into the powerlifting thing that I had to get in my macros. Chili's has this dish, this ancho salmon.
Oh.
Ancho chili lime
yes,
salmon.
yes.
That it's like a big piece of salmon with, like, these spices and this cotija cheese on top.
Mm-hmm.
And then it has, like, beans and broccoli. So it's, like, packed with your macros.
That sounds packed.
And whenever, like, they would do it right, it was delicious. But then other times it was frozen.
Oh.
Yeah. So I call it the mediocre three because it's not fast food. It's better than fast food.
It's fast casual, right?
It's even more elevated than, like, a Denny and IHOP
True.
and all that.
True.
But you know, you can't. If you got lucky,
Right.
if you got lucky and you got a good staff in the kitchen, you may score big.
Right.
But then most
If
of
you
the
go
time
during a
it's
very
not.
packed time,
Yeah,
good luck.
because sometimes, like, I actually was at Chili's not too long ago, and, like, you know, again, in the menu, it's like, oh, the bacon cheddar burrito, no sé qué.
Oh, yeah.
And then when they bring it, it's like, oh, this was under a heat lamp forever.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't care about that stuff. I don't care.
We still eat it.
I don't care. But it's like, yeah, it's like
Depends on the day.
But the reason I say that is I love that you guessed my mediocre three.
Well, I mean, come on. If anybody's going to guess it.
Bennigan's had what none of them have had, which
The Monte Cristo?
the Monte Cristo.
Milagro que nobody's tried to, like... Take that mantle up.
El Monte Cristo.
El Monte Cristo.
Monte
Yeah,
Cristo.
why are you being so, like...
The Monte Cristo and Monte Cristo.
Yeah.
I mean, listeners, do you remember Monte Cristo from Bennigan's?
For those listeners who don't, I think you should
take
us down
of
memory lane.
legends. So
really is.
picture this: get like a club sandwich. Although Monte Cristo didn't have ham; it had turkey. Get a club sandwich. Así, your multi-layers, picadito en cuatro. You batter it. You fry it. Then you put powdered sugar in it and you dip it in jelly. I mean, come on.
It's like, actually, it's almost like a deconstructed fried Elena Ruf.
That should come with a side of like cholesterol medicine.
Yeah, it should come with Lipitor.
Yes.
Yeah. And maybe it will.
No, the cholesterol medicine should
Lipitor.
have
Lipitor.
So like Lipitor should have like a like
a partnership.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Go to Bennigan's and have a Monte Cristo sandwich
With
and
a side of Lipitor.
Get 25% off your next order of Lipitor. I mean, you're only being preventive.
Listen, and we're all about partnerships nowadays.
Do you remember that?
I do.
Do you remember their Irish burger?
I don't remember the Irish.
It had like, I don't know, 20 layers.
Oh, no. I don't
and they
that.
would bring it with like a big knife in the middle.
Oh, no. No me
Yeah.
recuerdo.
And I also used to love their broccoli cheddar bites.
That I do.
Okay, why isn't Bennigan's around? Now I'm hungry. Now I want all these things. Actually, I think that
There's like
Bennigan's,
one, no?
There's a couple of franchises left. And it's weird because now that Bennigan's I don't know if they still existed, but they tried to bring it back, not in Miami, in other places. They tried to bring it back, and they had those classic dishes.
Yeah.
But within the menu, they had a selected menu of steak and ale. So I was like, coño.
Tremendo mashup.
We're this is tremendo throw up. Not throw up. Throw back.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is what they call a Freudian slip.
throw back. Yeah. So, I used to love going to Steak and Ale in the 80s, and my mom's like, "Ay, sí, la ensalada."
The salad
El
bar.
de ensalada.
Remember when everybody had salad bars? Wendy's. Yeah.
Sizzler.
Like, we liked... I think it's because we like the idea of a buffet, but we want it to be healthy.
Dude, when we used to go to Sizzler in the 80s, my mom would wear her nice blouse.
Oh.
Vamos a Sizzler. Which Sizzler did you guys go to?
I'm trying to remember the ones that were...
Because
there was the one on Kendall, no?
There was one on Kendall.
Okay.
So it's funny because being from Westchester,
Right.
you would think that we went to the one in Bird Road where Maribel's Day Spa is now.
Oh, I totally forgot that was there.
Was previously a Dunkin' Donuts and previously was a Sizzler by Tropical Park.
Sí.
But we used to go to the Sizzler in Coral Way and like 120 something. No, I'm sorry, 8th Street and 120 something.
Todavía se mandaban.
Yeah, that's Sizzler we used to go to.
Why?
Which now I think it's a car wash.
That's one. Natural evolution.
Yeah, that's
why.
I don't know why we went to that Sizzler.
We'll just put that on the list of things we want to ask your parents when they're on the show eventually.
Yeah, but oh my god, I remember we used to have the all-you-can-eat shrimp.
Okay.
The langostino shrimp dinner. That I remember that one. And then the best thing about Sizzler, and for those of you who remember Sizzler, you will agree with me, was their cheese toast.
Oh my god, the bread.
That was legit.
They just bring that back?
Yeah.
Like, just bring it back in the frozen food section.
Yeah, and I always thought that Sizzler was so much better than Ponderosa.
Well, but Ponderosa, the only that I would go to was in Orlando.
No, they have Ponderosa here.
No, I'm saying the only one
they used
I
to have
ever
a Ponderosa in Mall of Americas.
Oh, no, the only one I ever went to was in Orlando.
Yeah.
It's still there.
No, Ponderosa closed.
It did?
The one in front of Old Town?
Yeah.
Yeah, on Highway 127. Yeah, it closed.
Oh.
I don't know if there's other Sizzlers. This is a question for Seth. So,
Yes.
Listeners, come on. You went to Sizzlers.
Of course everybody did.
Vamos a Sizzler.
Sizzler.
I remember that Sizzler used to have coupons.
Oh, shit, that's right.
I remember going to the salad bar and being like, what is French dressing? And what is... See, even that has changed. Like, salad dressing from the 80s.
Use French. Nobody does French
dressing.
We sent it back after
French dressing
after 9/11.
is something that you just have in a salad bar, in an 80s and 90s salad bar. But okay, I have Mira that I go out to eat to different restaurants. I have never been to a restaurant where they have French dressing.
What was French dressing?
It was like red.
Like a vinaigrette?
Sort of.
So it's probably just a fucking vinaigrette.
No, it's not a vinaigrette because it was thicker. Just like they don't have like Russian dressing.
Yeah, we've become very insular.
Yes. Oh man, but that the salad bar from Wendy's is funny because I never had it.
My grandmother, my abuela used to really like.
I know why I
bar.
didn't have it because the salad bar from Wendy's used to have. Here we are starting, but let me tell you, with salad bars and
defunct restaurants.
Right. The salad bar but for those of you listeners who remember the salad bar from Wendy's, the taco salad bar especially,
Oh yeah.
it's picadillo, and you know how I am.
It's not even about that. It's just that no, it's not even about that. It's just that picadillo sitting out does not look appealing.
Yo no me meto en picadillo de nada. Like none. I don't like abuela's picadillo. I don't like Cuban picadillo. I don't like Mexican picadillo. I don't like picadillo. Like ese picadillo que te ponían ahí, that God knows that's not even USDA approved.
It was grade D meat.
I remember not too long ago, I went to Taco Bell, and it was fourth meal type thing as one does, and I was really craving it. And I got home, and they got my order wrong, and everything tenía picadillo. And I was like, y ahí se queda. I'm not eating that shit. And you know that I'm not a picky eater, you know?
Oh, no. When it comes to Taco Bell, especially if it's a fourth meal situation, if it's a fourth meal situation, that means that I am hungry.
El picadillo, ese no, es que no, it can't come down. But yes. That and Lums. Remember Lums?
I remember Lums, but I never went to Lums.
Okay, we should have Seth Burger Beast.
This is like the Burger Beast corner.
Welcome to the Burger Beast segment.
Yeah, Burger Beast segment.
But Sizzler. It's all about Sizzler.
So really quick though, I would want to change. Now that we're talking about things that are local but not around, I actually want to bring up something that's pretty cool about us.
Okay.
That we're in a museum.
Oh yes, we're in a museum. Pero no, really we are.
Legit, we are in the History Miami Museum, ahí en Flagler. They have a section that is called It's a Miami Thing, where they feature a lot of just things. Exhibit, thank you. Where they feature in this exhibit a lot of things that are either of Miami or used to be part of Miami. And one of the sections is what they call their textile exhibit, where they put clothing from some of the tribes and from movie productions, and
from Lorraine designers.
And our little census T-shirt.
Yes.
Is in a museum
in Miami,
right in front of. It's a little. We have to go see it in person, but based on the picture, behind us is the Burdine sign.
Yes, I did see the Burdine sign,
which I feel like they were channeling you. They must have heard the show.
So funny enough, when you sent me, because I think you saw it first on an Instagram reel,
on TikTok,
or
on TikTok,
or
and I had to watch it like 4 times.
When you sent it to me, do you remember my answer?
Yeah.
When I responded to you, I'm like, did you superimpose this picture of our T-shirt? Because this looks like our T-shirt is in an art, like in a museum,
right?
And you're like, no, it is. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, how did it get there? Because I really wanted to know, how did our shirt
wind up in
a museum?
Yeah.
And we reached out to them, to History Miami, and they were lovely, and they told us that apparently one of their curators or somebody involved in the museum bought the shirt back when we sold it.
Yeah, because this was our limited edition shirt.
This was a limited edition shirt, and so we are in a museum.
We are in a museum. We're gonna go check it out.
I think look, that shirt. I forget. Did we come up with the idea of that shirt on air? Lechon Life, I know we did.
No, that one you can't. The
census, that one.
It was a confluence.
I came up with that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I came up with that one, and then it was one of those things that I designed it, and then I gave it to you so you could have it printed. And I remember when I went to pick up the shirts, that we had them done.
Yeah.
And I was very particular about it. I wanted it black, and I wanted I remember I sent you several treatments. I was like, okay, should the De Miami what it has to be the right color. It can't be just,
and it can't be too big. It can't be too small.
It can't be red. It has to be a color that's Miami. And I think we were in between a pink and a teal.
Yeah, very Miami Vice.
Right. Yeah. And the font, the font
it has to be handwritten, right. But not.
So it was one of those things that the planets aligned. I remember when I went to pick up the shirt after they had been printed. I just knew. I was like, this shirt's going to be a hit. Sometimes, you have a great idea, but when it's executed, it doesn't come out quite as you imagined.
Right.
But that one, from the idea to the execution to when I saw it, I was like, it's going to be a hit. And it was. And it ended up in a museum. And I wish we could tell you guys, hey, go on to our account and have it.
and order it.
But we don't. I think we had one left.
I think if we do have...
we have one. No, we have...
Okay, if we have one, actually, I kind of promised that one to somebody.
I remember
It's a medium.
it's a medium.
Yeah,
I don't know if we have, because I know that forever we had one left and it was a medium, and it's like, okay, we're not gonna go out and sell one shirt. Like,
right? Yeah.
Like it was there in like the archive.
If it's still around, I have someone that I want to give it to.
But yeah, I think that I only kept one for me.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we have ours.
So it's very limited
It
edition.
is very limited edition. I think we
And
made
the funny thing
100?
is, so
150?
the funny thing is that, and we said this story in the podcast back when the shirt, around the time the shirt came out. You know, one of the main reasons that we did that shirt, it was in 2020,
Before
which
the
is
world
a,
shut down.
it was a census, and we sort of debuted the shirt at Carnival on the Mile, which is in March. And this was March of 2020, and literally Carnival on the Mile, when we had a booth we had a booth this year too, but we had a booth that year, and that was like the last day of the world.
Yeah, that was the last
before
weekend
the
of the world.
pandemic.
Yeah.
That day, everybody was like talking about the pandemic, and then 2 days later, boom, everything shut down. But that's where we debuted the shirt, and it was funny because the United States Census also had a booth that day there, and everybody kept coming to us thinking that we were the census.
Where do I apply
Because
for
we
a
had the
job?
shirt displayed,
Right.
right? And everybody started coming to us thinking that we were the United States Census Bureau. And I remember when the gentleman who was like, I forget his name now, that we actually interviewed him for the show, that he came, I saw him coming, and I'm like, oh my God, that's the director of the census. He's going to have a word with us about this knockoff shirt, and he loved it, and he bought one. So it was a great, I never thought it would end up in a museum.
And now it's part. I mean, it's part of their collection, so we may be rotated in and out.
Yeah.
That shirt may live on for decades.
Right. Hey, listen, not only is it in a museum, but it's in the same exhibit as the original Burdine sign. Nothing says more Miami than that.
I'm telling you, it's like they listen to our show.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Because that to me speaks like, where would Darian put this? Oh, in front of the Burdine sign.
You have to hear my mom talking about Burdines. Macy's no sirve para nada.
Es verdad.
Tú vas a Macy's de Dayland y ahí no hay nada. And I'm like, the Macy's in Dayland is like the flagship Florida store. Like, it's enormous. And you can't find it. No, ahí no sirve nada. La ropa ahí no sirve la de Macy. And my mom gets really frustrated, especially when my niece was younger. She was a little girl. Tú vas a ir a ropa de niña y todo tiene terciopelo y no sirve para nada. No sirve para nada. Ropa feísima con unos lazos y todo eso. Ropa bonita y fina de Bourdain. Bourdain sí que era una tremenda tienda. Y Jordan Marsh.
Now,
Jordan Marsh.
Is that where she bought the blouse that she would wear to the Sizzler?
Oh my God. That's so funny you're saying that. So, my mom, my parents, and this is something that our listeners can relate to. My parents, like most people that are immigrants, I would say that the first 10 years that my parents were here, they struggled,
Of course.
finding their bearings and
Figuring
finding
it
their
out,
things.
yeah.
And, luckily after like maybe 10, 11 years of my parents being here was when like their work really started to show off. Again, like most people, my dad eventually started working in banks and he got promoted and he started working in a better, in a good company.
They gained traction.
They gained traction. They had a 401k, you made it when you got a 401k.
Yeah.
My mom then started working in a bank too, about 10 years after they've been there. And obviously, when they both started working in banks and in the banking business, financially, our lives improved. We could turn the air on in the car. Porque antes nosotros bajábamos la ventanilla del carro.
And suffer.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it was the 80s and it was the 80s. So, there was less heat.
That's true. Global warming hadn't really taken hold.
Global warming wasn't as warm.
It wasn't as warm. It was lukewarm.
I'm not kidding. We wouldn't put it on the air.
I believe
you.
We
would only put it on when we go to weddings or 15s.
Claro, porque no vas a llegar a
Right. Yeah. But anyway, those first 10 years, like, we struggled. So what my mom would do is, porque acuérdate that my grandmother was a seamstress.
Oh, that's right.
My grandmother cosía. My mom se hacía vestido de, the patterns.
Nicole's?
The different patterns.
Simplicity patterns.
Yes. But what were they called? It was de molde. Ropa de molde. Ropa de molde. I remember my mom would buy them, and then I would see her taking out these like sheets of paper, and I'm like, pero qué carajo es eso? Like,
yep.
And then, you know, of course, the dining room table, my grandmother cortando tela and all this stuff. Yeah. And somehow my grandmother would make a dress.
Well, that's how dresses are made, Darian.
Right, no, but what I'm saying is that it's one of those things that, like, from el molde, you know, the pattern to the buying the la retrasera. That's what it used to be called, the textile store.
Oh, I never heard that.
How do you think it's called in Spanish?
No, I've never thought about it. I've never thought about it.
Y comprarle el hilo and all that stuff, you know, in the Royal Donsk can.
Something has to fill it once the cookies are gone.
And yeah, my mom in the 80s, to answer your question about la blusa, had a lot of blusas that were made by my grandmother. Very, very fashionable, yeah. And then, you know what my mom would do? Full circle. Once, you know, especially like if it was like a dress for like a wedding or something, you know, that usually don't wear those as much. After a while, my mom would send it to Cuba.
Well, claro. Total, para que lo usen.
See, I'll never forget that one time, years later, seeing pictures of like the relatives we had in Cuba. And I'm like, isn't that my mother's yellow dress? And I was like, I know my grandmother made that dress, so there wasn't a duplicate.
Yeah, this is not like a knockoff of ink. Yeah.
Sí, pero Bordain.
Oh, bueno.
Did your parents love Bordain too?
My mom liked Burdines.
No.
I don't think she had as a strong feeling about it as you, but she does say the same about Macy's. She's like, "Tú vas a Macy's y nunca tienen nada."
You know that I think that maybe, like, seriously, maybe it's the fact that it's the buyer, because Macy's
that could be it.
Isn't Florida based. So whereas Burdines was, so Burdines had
al estilo de...
Right, well, but like, and I'm talking about like the store buyer.
No, right. That's what I'm saying. Like, they would buy the inventory al estilo of the market.
I mean, wouldn't you like going to Burdines with the plastic palm trees?
Oh, now I want to.
The only good thing about us having Macy's down, well, truth be told, we had Macy's before the Burdines merger, because I used to go to the Macy's in the Falls.
Yeah.
But the only good thing about having Macy's here and the Macy's Marshall Fields merger, which Macy's did the same thing with Marshall Fields. Yeah. Marshall Fields was like the iconic Chicago store.
The Burdines of Chicago.
Right. Is the Frangelmans.
Frangelmans.
So, wow. This is the learn section of Pero let me tell you. So, the Marshall Fields in State Street in Chicago is the equivalent of Macy's in Herald Square in New York City. It's enormous department store. Enormous. And in 2006, Marshall Fields was merged with Macy's, like Burdines did, and several other stores around the country did. And the difference between Burdines and Marshall Fields is that us Floridians, like, Burdines left, and we were like, okay, Chicago put up a fight, because Marshall Fields has actually been around longer than Macy's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's an institution.
So it has its own rich history.
And Chicagoans did not go down without a fight. Like, they boycotted Macy's. They protested. It was big. So they were able to pass like a bill where the Marshall Fields and State Street in downtown Chicago, which again is the same as like Macy's and Herald Square, New York City, enormous. I see. They were able to pass it, and they declared it a landmark. Oh. So if you go today, it still says Marshall Fields.
Okay.
And the clock, the very famous clock, is still there. They cannot touch the building, and it still says Marshall Fields.
Because it's a historical landmark.
Right, so they can't change the name of it. So the whole Frangelmint thing's is that Marshall Fields, and again, Marshall Fields was around for over 100 years. On the top floor had the Frangelmint Company, where it's like these little mints, like Andy's mints.
Oh, okay.
But Frangelmints.
Okay.
And that was like a very big thing in the Midwest. And when Macy's merged, wow, I'm giving people so much information here about retail history that they didn't want it. When Macy's and Marshall Fields merged, Macy's now sells Frangelmints in all their stores.
Oh, okay. So they, by virtue of this merger.
Yes.
Okay.
And people, if you haven't tried Frangelmints, go to Macy's and buy some damn Frangelmints.
I don't like chocolate mints.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Mm-mm. No, sir.
Tú eres medio comunista.
I like chocolate and I like mints, but I don't.
You
like
need
them
to try a
together.
Frangelmint.
I don't like them together.
You need to try a Frangelmint.
I'll try
You're
it.
the minority.
No.
Dude, you like pineapple on pizza.
Okay, yeah, but that's different. That's not chocolate. I'll try it, but I'm not a fan of
You've actually been
mint.
to the Macy's in State Street. The
I'm sure,
Marshall
yeah.
Fields. We went to the Walnut Room there. That's one of my favorite things to do when I go to Chicago. So for listeners, if you go to Chicago, there's, again, the Marshall Fields there, which is now Macy's. I don't like to call it Macy's. On State Street, it's a historical landmark. It's been there for over 100 years. It's one of these huge turn-of-the-century department stores. So it has a restaurant in there called the Walnut Room. That it's this huge hall with like a fountain in the middle. In Christmas, it's decorated by Martha Stewart, by the way.
Oh.
I don't know why I know that. But it's like a very Chicago thing to do.
Okay.
To eat there. It's something that like locals do. It's not touristy. So every time I go to Chicago, I like to go there. And that's the only place they have Frango pie.
Oh.
But you went there with me.
No, I know.
Yeah. So that is the learn section of the day. So I actually wanted to bring up something really funny. This is a little antidote. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. We know things can feel overwhelming, from jobs to family to relationships, even finances. And despite the stigma from Hispanic families about airing our dirty laundry, we can all use someone to talk to during those moments of stress. Well, we're here to remind you that there's no shame in admitting that you need to speak with someone to work towards improving mental well-being. That's where BetterHelp comes in to, well, help. A customized online therapy provider, they offer therapy options on your time, whether it's via phone, video, text, or even live chat sessions with a therapist. BetterHelp's customized approach matches you with a therapist in under 48 hours, based on what you're experiencing, to help you better understand yourself. And as a special offer for Pero Let Me Tell You listeners, you can get 10% off your first month of professional therapy at betterhelp.com/pero. It's already more affordable than in-person therapy, and now you can save on your first month. Everyone deserves to be happy, and BetterHelp has helped millions take their first step on that path. That's betterhelp.com/pero. Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this podcast episode. So, how do you feel when you are in the supermarket and you're in a hurry, and you have to go to the deli?
Okay.
And not only do you have the slowest person on the other side of the counter, but then the person in front of you decides that they're going to have a cold cut party. And,
What a great party, though, I have to say.
Yeah,
I would want to go to that party.
I want to go to that party.
I want to go to that party, yeah.
I mean, the cold cut combo is kind of my favorite. I say it kind of like a little embarrassed. It's kind of my favorite stuff from Subway, the cold cut combo, because the cold cut combo from Subway is like at the very bottom of the totem pole.
Well, yeah, because it's a basic sandwich.
I don't even think it's like real meat. Like,
it's probably more real meat than the tuna.
I don't give a shit. It is delicious as fuck. Like, I love it. Like, I don't know if that was ever in a pork, in a pig deal. But anyway, so I was at Publix the other day, and, this guy in front of me is like, sí, una libra de jamón, una libra de mortadella, una libra de salami. No, let me not get to the salami. Una libra de
pavo.
De pavo. Sí, queso americano, no sé qué, and the ladies are cutting it,
Right.
And I'm there like... And I had to go there because I needed to buy prosciutto, because Tristan wanted prosciutto. And if I would have gotten home without prosciutto, if I would have not gotten that kid prosciutto, there would have been a crater.
But don't they sell prepackaged prosciutto?
Sí, mijito, but it was like super expensive.
Okay.
Prepackaged prosciutto has like 4 slices and it's $8.99. Whereas the Publix brand prosciutto is $12.99 a pound. Like,
okay, all right.
Okay, you could see.
All right, I see the price. Yes, okay.
And anyway, so I was like, I need to get the damn prosciutto, because if not, Tristan's gonna like self-implode. Anyway, so I'm there, and this guy's ordering all this, and I'm like, oh my God. So then he wants salami.
Okay.
And he asks the lady, which, again, this is my local Publix, so I know this lady. she's, como dice Tamaranda Priestley, move. What is it?
By all means, move at a glacial pace.
You know how much that, whatever. Right. This is this woman, glacial pace. Let's see. Anyway, he asked her, what's the difference between hard salami and Genoa salami? Genoa salami? And I was like, oh my, I was about to tell him. I was like, it's this. Just order it already. And she's like, I don't know. So she proceeds, which I didn't know this existed. She proceeds to whip out
manual?
A Boar's Head product, like, catalog. And I was like, first of all, I didn't know there was a Boar's Head product. Like catalog.
Like a manual.
Yes. And secondly, like, she whipped that. I was like, where do they have that? Like,
it's only brought out for emergencies like this.
And there she was, like, licking the tip of her finger, like, going through the pages. And she's like, bueno. And I was like, oh my God. I've been waiting 20 minutes for prosciutto ham. And I was about to tell him, I'm like, the difference are the seeds. That's all. The pepper. That's the difference. You know the difference, right?
I guess.
Yes. One of them is smooth.
Right.
And has a little white dot.
And the other one has a little peppercorns.
Right. I was like, that's the main difference. Like, that's the main difference. And she's like, bueno. And then she's like, ¿tú quieres probar los dos? And I was like, that means that she has to take out the salami, unwrap it, slice it, and then put it back in, take out the other salami, and do the same thing. It took like 25 minutes. So when I got up, she's like, may I help you? I'm like, half a pound of prosciutto, thank you, bye. I was like, I don't even want the free slices. Give me the damn prosciutto. This kid here is about to blow up. And I was like, I was like, what to do? Like,
what are you gonna do?
Because there was a point that I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm leaving. And I'm like, no, I'm not leaving. I've invested already 10 minutes.
Oh no, because that's the thing. After a certain point, now you've invested time.
Yes. I'm like, I'm not leaving this store without prosciutto.
Right. You gotta show something for your effort. Yes.
And it's not gonna be the prepackaged shit.
No. You're not paying $8.99 for 4 slices.
After 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes. Oh, that's like some time ago. I remember I posted on my Instagram, and I think you commented, or we even talked about it here, the time I went to McDonald's. And I took a picture of these people, the couple, in front of me, that they were looking at that menu. Like, if they were looking at the menu of the fucking Cheesecake Factory. Like, I'm like, there's only, things. Especially now, post-pandemic, they don't even have the grilled chicken.
That's true.
They have less items. Yeah, I'm like, it's a double cheeseburger. It's a cheeseburger or variation of a cheeseburger.
Yeah, it's all variations of the same thing at the end of the day.
A Big Mac or a quarter pounder with cheese. Like, I mean, really. And they're like, viejo, ¿cuál te gusta? No, pero ese tiene mayonnaise. I'm like, classic without mayonnaise. Like, and they're like, the 16-year-old kid who, is like, wants to be in 20 places other than working at McDonald's.
Right.
Like, ya vamos a ordenar. And then, of course, there was nobody else, right?
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God. I just want a double cheeseburger. Like,
again, no options.
Yes.
And now you're invested.
Yeah, you can't leave.
And now you're invested.
Because then if you go, have you noticed that the drive-thrus
Están insoportable. Están insoportable.
Right, but this was even before the pandemic.
Yeah. In the last 5 years, I would say, the drive-thrus están insoportables.
Because I remember,
and the one by my grandmother's house, it's one of the ones que tiene the 2 order things and the thing. They could put 45 of them, y eso siempre va a estar repleto.
Right. And we're not even talking about Chick-fil-A, because Chick-fil-A es una falta de respeto.
Right.
For many reasons. But it's like, okay. Homophobia aside.
Right, let's put that aside. Okay,
Chick-fil-A is good, but it's like, is it this good that really there's 60 people in the drive-thru?
Right.
Like,
no.
I mean,
it's a chicken sandwich, people.
I mean, yeah, like,
calm down.
Right. And Chick-fil-A's been around for, I don't get the Chick-fil-A thing. I do like the Chick-fil-A sauce, though.
Yes, I know.
Pero bueno. But you could buy that on the side. Anyway, pero yeah, drive-thrus recently, it's like, coño.
Yeah, no, están insoportables.
No. And I love here in Kendall, the Miami Subs drive-thru. Because since the Miami Subs food is made to order, it's like, okay,
that's right.
It's going to be about 25 minutes on the drive-thru.
So just sit back and relax.
That's why I'm like, I tell them when I order it, I'm like, I want extra tzatziki sauce. Tzatziki! La salsa que le ponen en el gyro.
I was going to say, because they do not know what tzatziki
Right, that's
is.
why I'm like, la salsa que le ponen en el gyro.
Ay,
Welcome to Miami tzatziki. Que tabaco. No, tzatziki.
Tasajo.
No, tzatziki.
Yeah, no. Nay.
But I did get my prosciutto.
Well, that's all that matters at the end of the day.
And the other learned section of our show today is that the difference between hard salami and Genoa salami is the seeds.
Yes,
the
peppercorn. Mm-hmm.
Pero bueno, what else do you have?
Hi. Well, did you hear about all of the racism happening on Sesame Street?
I did, but I don't know about it.
Okay.
It's been a rough week.
It's about to get rougher for Sesame Street.
Oh, no.
So, actually...
Wait. Are you talking about, like, internally, like, in the production of
No. So, Sesame Street has these parks that are owned, actually, by SeaWorld, called Sesame Place. There's, like, maybe 3 or 4 of them in the U.S.
Oh, wait. Is this the one where... I forgot which character
Rosita.
it was. Did not say hi to the little...
Didn't... Right, the little black girls were waving.
Okay, when I saw that, I was like, I hope there's, like, a continuation to that video.
Well, I don't know if there's a continuation to that video, but there has been some more allegations of racism at Sesame Place, to the point where they have been hit by a family, but with a $25 million racial discrimination lawsuit. It's a class action civil rights lawsuit that alleges multiple costume staff at the Sesame Street themed amusement park ignored a 5-year-old black girl during a meet and greet. It's a Baltimore family. It alleges that multiple costumed members ignored a 5-year-old black girl during a meet and greet in June.
Is it one of the video?
No, that's another one. That's another scenario. So according to the legal documents, this is kind of my favorite part. The 4 employees dressed as Sesame Street characters Elmo, Ernie, Telly Monster, and Abby Cadabby. I just love that it's like, and then I read something about a lawsuit against these 4 characters.
Those misfits.
Those damn Muppets. You know, like, that's my favorite part. Refused to engage with Quentin Burns, his daughter Kennedy Burns, and other black guests during the June 18th event. The Burns family maintains the employees were, quote-unquote, ignoring them and all other black guests in attendance. The motion was filed against the owners, SeaWorld Parks, for pervasive and appalling race discrimination. And again, this is in addition to the video of Rosita, you know, which, you know, the irony of a Mexican Muppet being racist is not lost.
I did see the one of the Rosita, and the little girls who are black are like, "Ay, Rosita, Rosita,"
yeah.
and Rosita is like, "Oh hell no!" And I'm like,
well, they said so.
But that's why I was like, is there more to this video? Because if it is just this, that's really messed up.
So they released a statement about that, saying that what you can't see off camera is that there was a family trying to, like, which happens apparently all the time, trying to give, like, a baby to the character to hold, right, to hold the baby, like, to take a picture while they're holding the baby, which they are not allowed to do.
Right.
The statement from Sesame Place is that that's what the no was in reference to, not the little black girls. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just stating what the statement was from Sesame Place. But what caught me was, and I wanted to bring it up, because, you know, I refuse to believe that racism can exist in Sesame Street. I just refuse it. I refuse it. Those are definitely the actions of other people. I feel like the Muppets themselves are pure. Mm-hmm. What got me was the $25 million amount. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to bring it up to you because I'm not trying to minimize their experience, but how does essentially being snubbed by characters at a theme park...
Well, I mean, I would have to read the complaint.
Right. Turn into because $25 million is.
I don't know what the allegations are, but you could have an allegation or the counts.
Okay.
You could have like a count. I don't know if these are the counts. I haven't read the complaint. You could have a count, for example, that you could say that the kids were like distressed or like
mental
traumatized,
distress.
and it could be negligent infliction of emotional distress.
Well, they said that they filed the motion was filed in the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania against the owners of Sesame Place, SeaWorld Parks for, quote-unquote, pervasive and appalling race discrimination.
Right. Then there's different statutes and different laws in place regarding racism.
Okay.
Right. That it is.
Because it falls into like hate crime type things.
Well, not a hate crime.
But-
hate crime is different.
but
there are
discrimination.
certain discrimination, yes. So I don't know if those are the counts.
Okay.
It's like everything, you usually in any lawsuit start high, and then meet somewhere in the middle.
Right.
My biggest question of this is that I would like to think that if this lawsuit was filed, there's merit to it.
Right, there's some
and
type
if an
of due
attorney
diligence.
filed it, there is merit. And assuming there is merit, which there probably is, this has to have been a substantial
Something like egregious.
right. So what happened? Like what happened? Because
for them to say that they
what
were
I
being
would want to
ignored,
know, what I would want to know is
it's very vague in terms of what's been told.
what were there other instances? Because you said that the plaintiffs in the case said that they were doing that to other black children
Right.
in the park that day. So
It's a class action lawsuit.
It's a class action lawsuit?
It's a class action.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it was a class action
Yeah.
lawsuit. Oh, no. That changes everything.
Yeah.
I mean, if these people can show the plaintiffs...
Hold on. I apologize. Hold on. The class action civil rights... It's a class action civil rights lawsuit, but then it does say that a Baltimore family has filed a $25 million lawsuit. So I'm thinking that maybe if it's one family, but like an extended family, maybe that's why it's a class action.
No, it has to be like a class action is a class of people.
Right, but what I mean is like, okay, for instance, if you right now go to Disney
No.
with your
No.
with your aunts and
Right,
uncles,
right,
and blah,
no.
blah, blah.
And we all that's not a class action.
Oh, okay,
lawsuit.
okay,
We're all
okay,
plaintiffs.
Okay.
There could be 10 plaintiffs, but it's not a class action
Got it.
lawsuit.
Okay, got
A
it,
class action lawsuit in this case is: are you African American? Have you gone to Sesame Street World?
Oh,
and have you
okay.
you suffered this type of discrimination and
Got it,
behavior?
got it.
If so, you
Call
can be
us.
part
Okay.
of our lawsuit.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
No, those would be co-plaintiffs.
Okay.
I mean, definitely this warrants an investigation because,
for sure.
I mean,
Like what the hell? Something happened.
something is going on there,
Right,
and
right,
then
right.
the fact that other video went viral doesn't really help.
No, at all.
That situation. I mean, you know what? In today's world, nothing shocks me. So, which is a shame because these type of things should shock you,
Right.
and should upset you. Well, it is upsetting, but it's like that's who knows? Who knows what those people were doing? If they were having a bad day, if they had an agenda, if they really were racist, if they were out to go, F everybody, like you don't know.
They could've
You
just had
don't
a
know.
shitty day
I mean,
against everybody that
I would
day,
have
yeah.
to read the. I
Right,
would
the
have to read
complaint.
the. I mean, you threw this at me without I don't like to make legal opinions without reading a complaint.
Okay, all right, and that's fair. That's fair.
But yes, they can make sort of answer your question. Yes, you can make those allegations, and they can be for a lot of money.
That's a lot of money for a character not acknowledging.
Well, but there's more there. There's more there because you're also showing that there's a systematic nature to this.
Okay.
Because if one of their allegations is that they were doing that to the other black children in the park, this is not an isolated incident.
Okay.
Right? You're making an allegation that it's systematic and that it was happening throughout the park to different people that were the same.
Right. To different families.
To different families that happened to be black.
Right.
So if it was the case, and that is a problem, obviously, that's part of that claim. But again, I would have to read the claim and all that. It's just messed up. And again, that video coming out this week.
No, it did not help. Was that this week only? Good Lord. I thought it was like
Or a few days ago.
I'm like, I have no sense of time anymore.
So I wanted to bring up something that I guess it's a little frivolous, but it's been around going this week. Did you hear that? I don't know if he's a CEO or like product, ambassador or whatever of Instagram. What happened with the whole thing of Instagram going to video?
Oh, that everybody now is posting. Keep Instagram.
Right.
That whole right. So yeah.
So
there was
so
an
basically,
update.
what happened was there was an update rolled out to Instagram
Literally
for
this week.
for some users, and one of them were the Kardashians. and I have opinions about this.
But we'll get to that after you.
Was a Kardashian.
Yeah, because it's funny because I think my personal hasn't been affected, but the Pero page has.
So basically, in this new update of Instagram, the algorithm is going to throw more reels at you and more videos.
So expect more videos from us,
because Instagram wants to compete with TikTok,
right?
And throw videos at you. And one of the people that complained were the Kardashians.
It was Chloe, no?
It was the Kardashians. I don't know which one, but it was several of them. And I'm like, of course they complained about it because pictures are easy to manipulate in Photoshop. Whereas you could with video as well, but it's a little bit harder with video.
That's true.
Right? But of course you can because all their videos, all their pictures are Photoshop filtered to till you can't filter anymore.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
and of course it is.
Yeah, with the exception of Chloe because she's already artificial intelligence.
Right. Right, but it's interesting that you say her because she's also the one that last year or whenever,
right,
when that undoctored picture came out of her,
she looked perfectly fine.
She looked fine. She lost her shit and went on a tirade, right? Because she wasn't photoshopped to an inch of her life, right? So, what are your thoughts on this on Instagram going to video and all that?
So from a business perspective, I get it. Nobody wants to lose revenue share, right? Everybody wants to get their money, especially ad revenue dollars. So I get that. What I hate about it is that and it's actually affecting not just Instagram. YouTube is also making a shift to short form videos and things like that. Because again, everybody's trying to take some of TikTok's lunch, is what it comes down to.
But why? How do you mean YouTube? Like doing a reel or a TikTok?
YouTube now has specifically certain formats that are I think it's less than 5 minutes or something like that. That's its own that's its thing. It's similar. But so again, I get it from a business perspective, right? You want to make the money, you want to get the ad revenue. Totally understand it. But what people fail to recognize is the reason that I go to Instagram is not the reason I go to TikTok, is not the reason I go to Twitter, is not the reason I go to YouTube. Everybody has their purpose. Everybody has their niche. And by essentially foisting this on people, are we all going to stop using Instagram? No, we're not. We're not all going to stop using Instagram. Number one, let's talk reality. You and I have invested way too much time in building up a freaking following on Instagram to now just be like, oh, we're going to protest and leave. It's not going to happen, so don't even pretend, right? But it does make it more difficult for the content creators because now, in order for you to even be featured, you're not going to be... As it was, you were already falling out of favor unless you had certain numbers and certain this and that, right? It's hard enough to get served a freaking picture of on our personals for me to get served a picture of your personal feed as it is, okay? You know what I've been seeing a lot of this week after this change? Literally, a lot of people are uploading a reel, quote unquote. All they're doing is putting a static picture and they're adding a little bit of music to it so that it's so it's something that the reel does. And that's what's going out.
Right. So it's a reel, but really it's a picture.
It's still a picture.
The reason I say that is because, and then let's just be honest here. Instagram is easy to manipulate the content.
Yeah.
Right? You have
75,000 filters.
You take, not only that, but okay, I want a picture of myself here. Okay, I'm going to take 20 pictures, pick the best one. Then I can edit that on an app, put filters and all that, and I can do that in a few minutes. Right? And boom, there you go. So it's really easy to curate the image and aesthetic that you want on your Instagram. You know that I'm all about that. I like my Instagram grid to look clean. That's why I don't have memes. I even color code sort of my pictures. Now in the summer, I have the hashtag Darien Blue theme where I post only things of water.
Didn't even notice that.
What?
The hashtag.
Hashtag Darien Blue theme?
You've
never noticed my hashtag Darien Blue theme? Okay, Darien, listeners.
Well, no, because I don't look for you. So, I mean, I'm just going to get served...
Well, I don't look for you either.
But I'm just going to get served what I meant is that I'm going to get served your pictures regardless, so I don't pay attention to the hashtags. Example,
when you go to my picture, Darien Blue theme, it's all water. They're all blue, pictures that are blue.
Oh. Look at you.
Yeah.
Mira.
And I do that in the summer. I post only pictures having to do with water because that's my aesthetic.
Right.
But that's easy to do when
with a
picture form
right.
medium.
Right.
Reels. Sometimes I feel like, okay, I'm not 20 anymore because
right.
I'm like, this reel took me an hour to do. Like,
yeah, it's time consuming.
Right. And then I feel that like for reels, the video quality is like the ones that, unless they're ones that go viral because of funny things,
right.
the ones that do really well are like, you could tell they have like a really good camera with like really good editing software. So then I think that at least on Instagram, I'm not on TikTok, so I can't speak on behalf of TikTok.
TikTok is a little bit of everything.
But at least on Instagram, a lot of like more average mundane people that just, take pictures with their phone, don't really tweak it too much or video, it's going to really change for them.
Of course.
Because,
Right, of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, listen, you can either become the next TikTok or you know what? You can become Snapchat. And the problem is that the last time that Instagram was being threatened by Snapchat, what did they do?
They did stories.
And they added all the fun little filters and the dog tongues and this and that. And you know what? It worked.
Right.
So if they did it once and it worked, the impetus is already there to be like, well, then let's just do it again.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let's do what TikTok does now.
Right. But
you're sacrificing.
The thing with Snapchat is, and again, I wasn't on Snapchat, so I don't know. The thing with Snapchat is because it's not permanent.
Right.
Like even me, that I want my pictures to be so uniform and all that, and my grid, I post on Snapchat stupid things like because it's gonna be gone and it doesn't change what my page looks like. Right. So that's why those videos were just throwaways.
Right, but Instagram even improved on that because you can do highlights of your stories that are saved. You know what I mean? So again,
right, but I don't like how those boxes look on top of my grid.
That's beside the point. You're missing the point of my story here,
I know.
Which is, Instagram did this already once, and their mentality is, well, let's do it again, and now we're going to beat TikTok at their own game. And I think that the problem is, no, because people come to Instagram for something, and they go, dude, half of the videos that get posted on Reels
are from TikTok.
They're just created on TikTok and then reposted. So it's not even like, they're creating it on Reels and they're, and they're not going reverse.
I've held out on TikTok, and there was one other person that I know that was holding out, but she's a sellout. Stephanie.
Well, we have a TikTok, so please feel free to follow us on TikTok, guys. But let me tell you, we're on TikTok.
Is that our TikTok name?
It is.
You could see how much I know.
It is, yes, because I've told you, whenever there's a new social media thing, whether I ever use it again or not, nobody's taking our name.
Okay, that's a good way of. Did we have a name on Parler? You know what Parler is, right?
No, not quite. No, I know what it is, but no, we didn't. Yeah.
So, they retracted that. They went back on it.
On what?
On Instagram.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. They went back on the update.
Ours is still showing.
Yes, it is, but they went back on the update. They said that they still are going to prioritize. They still want to go down the route of videos, but not as fast as they were earlier in the week.
Lord.
They need to reassess. People, just, you know what? Let's be honest here. Let's be honest.
Okay.
We miss the days of MySpace.
Hey, just bring back Tom. Where's Tom? Tom nunca tuvo problema. We never heard about controversies with Tom.
No, there was no problems with MySpace trying to take over the world.
No. The biggest fajasong there was who was in your top 8.
I know. Who was putting in my top 8, and then, or like the day that you would log in, it's like, oh, that link that had music to my page was broken. Now I have to pick a new song. I remember that
annoying.
I had forever Timbaland The Way I Are. And I loved it. I till this day, MySpace was my favorite.
Have you ever gone back and logged in?
I haven't in a while, but I did recently. When I mean recently, I mean maybe 3 years ago.
Okay.
It's like there's nothing there.
No, it's a ghost town.
I don't know. I found some of my old pictures, but there's nothing there. But I also think that MySpace was a space and time.
Yeah.
Because as we've said here before, it was in the infancy of social media insofar that before MySpace was Friendster.
That's right.
Right? And that never really took off like MySpace.
No, but Friendster had to crawl, so MySpace could walk.
But
so
MySpace really took off. I
yeah.
mean, everybody at one point was a MySpace. And it was a time that just won't be duplicated again, because it was a time that people on social media would go on to really share their pictures and share their experiences.
Fun little quizzes.
And people would, oh my God, look at this, look at that, or look at her, or oh my God, and also because MySpace was sort of the first type of the first platform of social media that went like widespread. That's when you started bumping into like people you went to high school with and old colleagues of yours and stuff like that.
Right.
And that's before people started becoming experts on foreign
everything.
Policy and
Based
law
on a meme.
and infectious diseases and all this stuff that everybody's an expert now in, right? So it was a very sort of naive, innocent time of social media.
If we knew then what we know now,
that I miss terribly. What's really off on MySpace? Their on button. When you would log on, remember a little orange light would be logged on.
Right,
I remember I would log off and an hour later that light was still on. I'd be like, I'm not on.
That's great.
Yeah. Your biggest controversy was who's in your top 8.
Your top 8.
Yeah.
That was a big deal.
Yeah. And I remember that I was like, oh shit.
By now there would have to be a top 32.
Oh shit, I have 11 close friends. So it's like
somebody's gotta go.
Oh, who's not gonna make the cut?
oh, damn it! Now I'm thinking of Lisa.
Yeah. So, MySpace. Tom.
Let's bring back Tom.
Who knew that picture of Tom with a whiteboard in the back
was going to be iconic?
Yeah.
That's iconic.
Yeah.
That is an example of iconic.
So I'm going to repeat the story. We've said it here before, but we have more listeners now. So we have a friend that we love her. We love her.
We do. It was her birthday this week. We love
her. But she's a great person. Let's leave it that way. So remember, listeners, when you would start a MySpace account, your first friend was Tom, right? And you would have the picture of Tom with the whiteboard. And, obviously we all had the picture of Tom. And one day our friend was like, who's Tom? I don't remember him from high school. Because she assumed that he went to high school with us.
Yes. Yeah, I mean.
He went to high school. He would have been like the only white guy in high school, in our high school. But she assumed.
But that's a fair assessment.
She was like, who's Tom? I don't. And I think that you and I went along with. I'm like, you don't remember Tom? But Tom used to hang out with us in lunch.
Tom was in all our classes.
We had biology with him. Yeah, honors biology.
I mean, how do you not remember Tom?
Don't you remember Tom ran for student council president?
And as nice as Tom was to you,
poor Tom. Well, Tom did well. Tom's
not hurting. Tom is perfectly fine.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hi.
Well, Tom made me thirsty.
From racist Muppets to Instagram algorithms, and now we're thirsty.
Yeah.
So do you want to go first?
No, you go first.
All right. So I'm going to give probably a first. I'm going to give a bizarre carbonated gasless hybrid soda. Okay. So I'm going to give my carbonated gasless soda to internet trolls.
Okay.
Here's why. Earlier this week, and again, guys, we know what we're posting when we post it. We purposely post certain content to get reactions, etc. So you remember last week's episode, we talked about the Castro, the children's book and whatever, right? So, we posted the little video, the snippet of the audio talking about it, what have you. Fair enough. I mean, that thing to date has had 32,000 views, by the way. So,
You posted it on Reels.
Of course I posted it on Reels. I have to play the game. Yeah. So, people are commenting, oh, I can't believe it, blah, blah, blah. And of course there were these trolls who come in, and then it's like, oh, you people don't know anything you're talking about. The communism, the literacy rate, whatever. Somebody went back and posted on a picture.
But the healthcare, the literacy.
They even went back and they posted on one of your pictures holding up the sign in front of the White House. Yeah. They put worms, gusano.
Oh, they did? I didn't understand.
Yeah. But it's great.
Go
So here's the thing. Here's what I'm saying. I'm giving them a combination, right? Because at the end of the day, trolls are horrible vile people who really, at the end of the day, have no other purpose in life than to seek out things to complain about it, I guess. I don't know, in the most benign way. But on the flip side, I want to say thank you, trolls, because every comment you leave still counts as engagement. And every view of our video still counts as a view, even if you're doing it as a hate watch, as a hate comment. So thank you for increasing our engagement this week.
Oh, I'm looking now. The guy who did the little
The
the little
gusanos.
gusano. They have gusano emojis.
Well, I think is it a snake? Is it a worm? I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Oh well, I'm looking at the person who left.
And
it.
again, I don't even want to bring up the people who.
I'm looking at his page, and he seems to be a joy.
Yeah, they all seem like a gem.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But again, like I said, I'm giving Gasless because they're just vile people who have nothing else going on in their lives.
Well, but
at the same time, thank you because
you know what actually
you brought engagement to our
you know
page,
what really
so
bothers me about that is, we which you said earlier, we have worked I can't say the word tirelessly. We have worked so hard in the last 4 or 5 years to build an audience, both on listeners, so thank you for listening. Yep. To build an audience, to build engagement, to build our platforms and social media. We have really worked to get the followers that we have. Yeah. So when you follow us, when we post content and you follow us, if you say something, if you say something that maybe we don't agree with or countering something that we said, by all means,
right?
We welcome it.
Bring on discourse.
What really upsets me are these people that just come out of nowhere, that don't follow us.
Right.
That they go to a hashtag and they go, who can I fuck around today?
Right.
In this, thing. Right. And
because I purposely put the hashtag Fidel Castro.
Right. That go around.
I'm not stupid, guys.
Right. That go around and then, give the comments that they give.
Right.
Okay. That really is what you're saying. Is going out and looking for trouble.
Like
because
going out
one
of your
thing
way.
is, if I'm going through my feed and I see that Fulano posted something like, Fulano, you're full of shit. I'm going to tell you what I think.
Right.
But I follow him or her,
right.
Or them, right? But that's not the case in a lot of these comments.
They're not.
It's like
the majority.
They are proactively going out and seeking this.
Right.
So that's why sometimes you want to say, dude, get the fuck out of my page. Like, you are the one who came here.
Yeah, I didn't ask you to come.
Yeah.
And how sad is your life if that's what brings you joy and entertainment?
Whatever. So you know what? I wouldn't even give them a hybrid. I would give them, remember? Una soda de chapapote.
Okay, there we go. A tar soda.
Yeah. Hi, but I'm looking at this person. And,
but again, the only reason I want to say the carbonated is because there's this thing that's like, when you hate watch something, it still gives them ratings. So yeah, I'm still pro, getting those engagements.
Right. Bueno, trolls. So I'm actually, my soda too can go both ways. My soda can go flat or it can go totally carbonated and crisp.
I love all these gender fluid sodas we're giving.
It could go totally carbonated and crisp. But I'm gonna give it a carbonated crisp soda because it's for the right reasons. So I'm gonna give my last soda to Sprite.
Oh, okay.
And there's a reason why.
And why are you giving it to the taste of Lyman?
So I am, because I don't know if you saw, Sprite is discontinuing their green bottle.
Oh, they are?
And they're gonna go clear because the green plastic can't really be recycled.
Kudos to them.
So I was like, coño,
that's a...
Because they're... Okay, to quote you,
that's iconic.
That's iconic.
That's iconic,
their green bottle is iconic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they're doing it, obviously, because it can be recycled.
Right.
So, I mean, I saw the new logo, and it's going to have green things and whatever.
Well, the logo doesn't change necessarily.
But the bottle is going to be clear.
That's a hell of a commendation on their part because, I mean, we're talking about affecting branding.
Yeah. And probably 7-Up will follow.
For the greater good.
Yeah. Although it's gonna be kind of weird to not see the. I was like, can you put green something in the
like in the drink?
In the drink. But it's gonna kind of be weird to see the soda aisle and not see the green bottle.
That's true.
So for those of you who want to collect the green bottle,
get it now.
Get it now.
Get it now. Get it while it's hot.
Yeah. Wow. So yeah, my carbonated soda, another carbonated soda, because those. I would say little things, but it's big things because I can't even imagine how many bottles of Sprite.
Well, but that's a little thing in the terms of like the effort, right? Because it's literally just saying we're not going to color it.
Right. So yeah, so that's my last soda. But in another honorable mention, although it's not a soda, did you hear they're discontinuing the Choco
I don't
Taco?
want to talk about it.
Okay, but why?
I didn't read why because I just don't want to talk about it.
I can't say that I'm like this Choco Taco person that every time you come to my house I'll have Choco Tacos. But Klondike decided this week, they said that they had to enhance their product line. They had to
they had to probably revisit.
But you know what? The internet has gone crazy about it. Don't you think that that's a marketing strategy, or it could be that then in a year they're going to be like, guess what? We listened to you, and we're bringing back the Choco Taco.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Do I think it's a marketing strategy? No, I think it probably is. Actually, I think it's an effect of the recession, probably, where Klondike is hurting, and they're like, okay, let's just take a look at the numbers and who has the lowest amount of sales. Choco Taco? Okay, sorry, we're going to get rid of you. Cuando las cosas se mejoren un poco, they'll bring it back either for like a limited time, or a partnership at Taco Bell, Taco Bell, home of the Choco Taco, or whatever. And
do you know what they brought back?
Who?
Viennetta.
They did?
Yes. I bought that shit like a month ago, and I ate almost the whole thing by myself, and I have no regrets.
I didn't know it was back. You did not tell me that it was back.
Next time I see you, I'll get you a Viennetta. A delicious dilemma. Do you remember the commercial?
Yes. That was like for the fancy dessert after La Cena.
Yes. And it's funny because looking back on Vienna, like when I had it now recently, it had been a while. I'm like, this is really like soft ice cream.
Yeah, it's soft serve.
Which is like the Hershey's.
Like a magic shell.
But it's done in such a pretty whimsical shape that you think...
I'm a sucker.
You put that in una copita linda.
Y eso para la visita. Although la visita, as we established last week, doesn't come anymore. So,
more Viennetta
for you.
Yeah. So, Choco Taco, Viennetta, Sizzler.
Yeah.
Times were good.
Look, things are leaving. They're coming back. The Choco Taco will be back before we know it.
Maybe one day I'll get back the Chicken Club Burrito from Taco Bell.
You know what? Start a petition.
I wrote them.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I wrote them like... in the aughts. The Chicken Club Burrito was in 1995 in Taco Bell, and it was exactly that. It was a burrito that had chicken, obviously, had a little bit of lettuce, had sour cream, had cheese, and had bacon. And it was like real bacon. And I have to tell you that it was, one of those things that's more than the sum of its parts. Yeah. It was magic. It was magic.
Well, before we sign off, you know what else is magic?
What?
Pastelitos.
Oh, yes.
And on August 6th at Beat Culture, we, as Pim Pam Pollo, are going to be part of their Pastelito Fest 2022. That other thing, you guys, which, by the way, thank you to everyone who came out to our last pop-up at J. Wakefield in Wynwood. We've got this one coming up August 6th. At Beat Culture, which is where we do our trivia every third Wednesday of the month, which will be back as well in August. And it starts at, I believe, at 12 noon. And it's basically just a celebration of all things pastelitos, whether sweet or savory. I'm sure there's going to be people there selling pastelitos de guayaba, de carne. We're going to be there, of course, with our, pastelito de guayaba y queso chicken wings, as well as our flavors, the spicy Korean barbecue, and our latest flavor is Santero, which was a hit. Thank you to everyone at J. Wakefield for making it that way. So hope to see you guys there. And if it helps and lay on a little bit of the guilt, you should come out because it's my birthday on August 6th. And what better way to celebrate it than by, coming and enjoying pastelitos on my birthday?
Well, there you go.
I mean, is there anything else you should do on a birthday than enjoy pastelitos?
That is Viennetta.
So,
anyway, well,
maybe we'll have a Viennetta too.
I hope everybody listened, laughed, and learned, especially through that department store section.
Yes, that was a lot.
That is more about Macy's and Marshall Fields that you ever wanted to know. We hope you listen, laughed, and learned. Remember to grab your pastelito, your croqueta, and your cafecito. And thank you for joining us, everyone. Have a great weekend.
All right, kids, cuídense. Bye. Pero Let Me Tell You is co-hosted by Darian Borges and Ismaeliano, produced by Ismaeliano, and our theme, Pero Let Me Tell You Freestyle, is composed by Michael Angelo Lomlaplex, the official gay guy. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes.